The diamond ring felt heavy in Sarah Mitchell's palm, not because of its weight, but because of where she'd found it. Hidden inside a hollowed-out book on her boyfriend's shelf. A book titled, The Art of Deception. Hey everyone, before we dive deeper into this story, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what happens next. Sarah had been looking for a phone charger. That's all. Just a simple charger in Marcus's apartment, the place she'd been spending most of her weekends for the past 18 months. The place she'd imagined might become their place someday soon. But now, standing in his home office at 2 p.m. on a sunny Saturday afternoon, while Marcus was supposedly at the gym, Sarah couldn't stop staring at the ring. It was beautiful. A platinum band with a brilliant cut diamond that caught the light from every angle. Exactly the style she'd casually mentioned months ago when they'd walked past a jewelry store in downtown Boston. Her heart should have been soaring. This was what she wanted, wasn't it? At 32, after years of dating disasters and near misses, she'd finally found him. Marcus Chun. Successful financial consultant, runner, dog lover. The man who remembered how she took her coffee and never forgot to text her goodnight. So why did her hands feel ice cold? Maybe it was the book. The Art of Deception by someone named Victor Castellano. She'd pulled it from the shelf, and the ring box had tumbled out from the hollowed-out center. Who hollows out books? She picked it up, running her fingers over the crude cuts in the pages. Her phone buzzed. Marcus. Running late, babe. Grabbing smoothies. Want your usual? Yes, please, she texted back, her fingers trembling slightly. She photographed the ring, the book, then carefully placed everything back exactly as she'd found it. But Sarah's journalism instincts, honed over 8 years at the Boston Herald, were already firing. Something felt off. Not just weird off. Wrong off. She'd met Marcus at a charity gala for children's cancer research. He'd bid on her basket in the silent auction, then joked that he'd only wanted the homemade cookies inside. They talked for 3 hours that night. He was charming, attentive, smart. Their first official date was at a rooftop restaurant where he'd somehow remembered she was allergic to shellfish from a passing comment she'd made. Perfect. He'd been perfect. And that was the problem, wasn't it? Sarah opened her laptop, the one she'd brought to supposedly work on an article about urban development. Instead, she typed, Marcus Chun, Boston financial consultant. The results were normal. Too normal. LinkedIn profile, a few mentions in company newsletters, a quote in a Financial Times article about emerging markets. Everything you'd expect. Everything that should be there. She tried image search. There was his LinkedIn photo. Professional, smiling, trustworthy. And that was it. One photo. In the entire internet. In 2024. Who has only one photo online? Her journalist's radar pinged louder. She opened a private browser and went deeper. Tried variations. Marcus Chun, Massachusetts. Marcus Chun, finance. Marcus Chun, born 1988. His age? Supposedly. More nothing. She checked Facebook. His profile was sparse, created only 2 years ago. Before that, nothing. He told her he'd deleted his old accounts during a digital detox. It had seemed noble at the time. The apartment door's lock clicked. Sarah slammed her laptop shut, her heart hammering. Marcus walked in, holding 2 green smoothies, his dark hair damp with sweat, a warm smile on his face. The face she'd kissed 1,000 times. Hey, beautiful, he said, setting the drinks down and pulling her into a hug. He smelled like the gym and his cologne. Familiar, comforting. You find that charger? No, Sarah lied smoothly, returning his embrace. I gave up. Used my laptop instead. Typical. I have like 8 chargers and can never find one. He kissed her forehead. I'm going to shower. Want to catch that new movie tonight? The thriller you mentioned. Sure, she said, watching him disappear into the bedroom. The moment the shower started, Sarah was back on her laptop. She navigated to a database she had access to through the Herald, public records, property ownership, court documents. Every journalist's secret weapon. She entered his name, birth year, Massachusetts. Nothing. She tried neighboring states. Nothing. No property records, no court appearances, no marriage licenses, no divorce records, no traffic tickets. It was as if Marcus Chun hadn't existed before 2 years ago. Her phone buzzed with a text from her best friend. Jenna, lunch tomorrow? Feel like I haven't seen you in forever. An idea struck. Sarah replied, yes. Can we meet at 11? Need your help with something. Jenna worked in cybersecurity. If anyone could dig deeper, it was her. That night at the movies, Sarah watched Marcus instead of the screen. The way he laughed at the funny parts, squeezed her hand during suspenseful scenes, bought her favorite candy without being asked. Everything about him seemed genuine. But so did everything about the character in the thriller who turned out to be living under a stolen identity. You okay? Marcus whispered during a quiet scene. You seem distracted. Just thinking about work, Sarah said. Not entirely a lie. After the movie, as they walked to his car, Marcus took her hand. I've been thinking, he started, and Sarah's stomach dropped. Maybe it's time we talked about making things more official. Official? The word came out strangled. Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe you could move in? Or we could look for a place together. His eyes were hopeful, vulnerable even. I know it's fast, but Sarah, I've never felt this way about anyone. You're it for me. She should have been elated. Instead, she felt like she was falling. Let me think about it, she managed. It's a big step. His face fell slightly, but he recovered. Of course, no pressure. Just know that I'm all in. That night, alone in her own apartment, Sarah couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about that ring, that hollowed book, those missing digital footprints. At 3 a.m., she did something she knew crossed a line. She created a fake profile and sent a friend request to Marcus's few Facebook friends. One accepted within an hour. A guy named David Chong, listed as a college friend from NYU. Sarah messaged him, hey, trying to organize a surprise for Marcus's birthday. Do you have any fun college stories or photos I could use? The response came quickly. Wrong Marcus, maybe? I went to NYU but graduated in 2009. Don't know any Marcus Chun from there. Sarah's blood turned cold. Sunday brunch with Jenna was at their favorite cafe in Cambridge. Sarah slid her laptop across the table before even ordering. I need you to do something, and I need you not to ask why until you're done, Sarah said. Jenna, fork halfway to her mouth with a bite of avocado toast, raised an eyebrow. This sounds ominous. Marcus, I need you to run a deep background check. Everything you can find. Now Jenna set down her fork. Sarah, what's going on? Sarah told her everything, the ring, the book, the missing digital trail, the fake college friend. Jenna was silent for a long moment. Okay, give me 24 hours. I don't have 24 hours. He's talking about me moving in. What if he proposes before? Before what? Before you find out if your boyfriend is secretly a criminal? Sarah, listen to yourself. But Jenna was already opening her own laptop. Fine, give me 4 hours. And order me another coffee. This is going to take caffeine. Sarah watched as Jenna's fingers flew across the keyboard, accessing databases and search engines Sarah didn't even know existed. 3 hours later, Jenna sat back, her face pale. What? Sarah demanded. Marcus Chun. The Marcus Chun who matches the birthday on his LinkedIn, died in a car accident in Seattle 7 years ago. The cafe sounds faded to a dull roar. What? There's a death certificate, obituary, everything. Jenna turned her screen around. There was a photo of a Marcus Chun, but younger, different features. Your Marcus is using a dead man's identity. Sarah felt like she might throw up. Who is he then? That's the million-dollar question. Without fingerprints or his real name, it's almost impossible to wait. Jenna's eyes widened. Sarah, did you say he works in finance? Yeah, Whitmore and Associates downtown. More typing. Jenna cursed under her breath. Whitmore and Associates had a major embezzlement scandal 18 months ago. Right around when you met Marcus. They never caught the guy. He disappeared with $3.2 million. The room spun. You think? I think you need to call the police. Right now. But Sarah's phone was already ringing. Marcus. Don't answer it, Jenna warned. Sarah answered it. Hey. Hey, beautiful. I know this is last minute, but I have a work emergency. Flying to Singapore tonight for a client meeting. I'll be gone for a week. A week. He was running. Oh, Sarah said, fighting to keep her voice steady. That's sudden. I know. I'm so sorry. I wanted to take you to that new restaurant this weekend. A pause. Sarah, when I get back, I have something important to ask you. Something I've been planning. The proposal. He was going to propose and then what? Disappear with her into some new identity? Use her as cover? Or worse? She'd seen enough crime documentaries to know that people who knew too much about criminals sometimes didn't stay alive long. I'll miss you, she said, because it was expected. I'll miss you more. I love you, Sarah. He'd never said it before. Neither had she. I love you too. She lied, and hung up. Jenna was already on her phone. I'm calling my contact at the FBI. Sarah. If he's who I think he is. James Ryder, Sarah interrupted. Her journalist brain finally making the connection. The Whitmore embezzler. They published a sketch in the Globe. I remember now. Different hair, different style, but the eyes. Jenna. The eyes are the same. 2 hours later, Sarah sat in a small room at the Boston FBI field office, telling her story to Special Agent Victoria Park. She'd brought everything, photos, screenshots, the address of Marcus's apartment. Ms. Mitchell, you may have just helped us close a case we've been working for over a year, Agent Park said. But I need to ask you to do something difficult. Anything. Keep acting normal. If he suspects, he'll disappear again. We need to catch him at the airport. So Sarah did possibly the hardest thing she'd ever done. She texted Marcus, have a safe flight. Can't wait for you to come back, Redheart. He responded immediately, already counting down the days. You mean everything to me. Did he mean it? Was any of it real? Or was Sarah just another mark, another piece of his elaborate deception? Monday evening, Agent Park called. We have him. Attempted to board a flight to Singapore. One way, under a different fake ID, with $400,000 in cash in his checked luggage. Sarah exhaled for what felt like the first time in days. So it's over? For you, yes. For us, we're just beginning. His apartment was full of fake IDs, multiple passports, and a very detailed plan to propose to you, get married quickly, and move to Malaysia. Malaysia. No extradition treaty. Ms. Mitchell, I don't think you were just a girlfriend. I think you were his exit strategy. A way to look legitimate while he set up his next identity abroad. Sarah thought about the ring hidden in a book about deception. The perfect metaphor. There's something else, Agent Park continued. When we arrested him, he asked about you. Wanted to make sure you were okay. Said he really did love you, for what it's worth. It's worth nothing, Sarah said, because I don't even know who he really is. His real name is James Ryder, 34, from Atlanta originally. Degree in finance from Georgia State. By all accounts, a normal guy until he started embezzling from his firm. We found journals in his apartment. Sarah, he'd been planning this for years. Creating identities, learning how to disappear, studying identity theft. What happens now? He'll be charged with identity theft, fraud, embezzlement. He's looking at 20 years minimum. Sarah hung up and sat in her apartment, surrounded by photos of herself with a man who didn't exist. Marcus at the beach. Marcus at her sister's wedding. Marcus making pancakes in her kitchen. She picked up one photo from the charity gala where they'd met. His smile seemed different now. Calculated. Or maybe she was just seeing what she wanted to see, rewriting history to make sense of the present. Her phone buzzed. A Facebook message from the real Marcus Chen's mother, whom Jenna had contacted. Thank you for honoring my son's memory by revealing this fraud. Marcus was a good man. I hope you find peace. Sarah started to cry. Not for the fake Marcus, but for herself. For the 18 months of memories now poisoned by lies. For the future she'd imagined that was built on sand. But as she wiped her tears and opened her laptop, Pulling up a blank document, she realized something else. She had one hell of a story. He was about to propose. Then she found out who he really was. She typed. 3 months later, her exposé on identity theft and romance fraud won a regional journalism award. The ring, which turned out to have been purchased with stolen money, was seized as evidence. Sarah Heard James Ryder pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 23 years in federal prison. She never visited him, never wrote, never sought closure beyond the kind she gave herself. Instead, she threw herself into her work, into her friendships, into rebuilding trust in her own judgment. Jenna set her up on a few dates, but Sarah wasn't ready. Maybe she wouldn't be for a long time. One evening, 6 months after James's arrest, Sarah's doorbell rang. She opened it to find a courier with a package. Inside was a book, not hollowed out this time, titled The Truth About Deception, with a note. Sarah, I'm so sorry for everything. I know I have no right to contact you, but I wanted you to know that what I felt for you became real. I know you won't believe me, and I don't blame you. But loving you made me realize I'd been lying to myself most of all. I turned myself in because of you, not the FBI. Me. You deserved the truth even if it came too late. James. Sarah stood there holding the note, feeling nothing. Not anger, not sadness, just a strange emptiness. She threw the note away, but kept the book. Not as a memento, but as a reminder that people aren't always who they claim to be. That love requires truth as much as it requires feeling. That she had good instincts and she should trust them. And that sometimes the best proposal is the one that never happens. Because Sarah Mitchell had almost said yes to a ghost, to a fiction, to a beautiful lie wearing a handsome face. The ring might have fit her finger, but the life it represented never would have fit her truth. She dodged more than a bullet. She dodged a lifetime of deception. And that, she thought as she finally deleted his number from her phone, was the real story worth telling. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more thrilling stories.